When you see commercials on TV nowadays, being a mom, I know in like London, they no longer, I don't think they allow body image commercials anymore. Or somewhere in the world, they're saying these
Mhm.
images out there on commercials with, women on sunscreen bottles and magazines, it's really harmful. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's here in the States. But when
Mhm.
you see maybe an unrealistic body image or something that else that is just not representative, how do you talk to your kids about it? Do you talk to your kids about it? Do you shield them? How do you handle commercials?
That's a great question. My most honest answer is actually that, we get to avoid a lot of commercials. It's not answering your question, but as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm realizing that my kids mostly watch Netflix and Amazon Prime. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's not really that many like live action commercials. That said, they of course get influenced by even the content of the shows, for example. And so, it's an excellent question about like how we talk about that. And one thing I try to do, and I mean, and as a disclaimer, I am extremely imperfect, of course, at all of this, even when I know better. But what I certainly try to do is to um, really point out when like reality varies from what they're seeing, first of all. So whether that's, if that's related to like body shapes and size, if there's a show, for example, that, Power Rangers is a good example, even because my kids are obsessed with that right now. If they're watching Power Rangers and you look at all the characters and there's there may even be like a little bit of racial diversity, but size diversity, like not at all. Everybody is very, conforms to a very kind of traditional ideal of, body shape and size and things like that. So we'll talk about that and challenge that and point that out as like that doesn't, these people don't necessarily look like the people you see around you in your life. And what do you make of that? And why do what do you think's missing? That's actually so my research in my doctoral work was on media literacy. So it was actually around a lot of these issues and specific to body image. So how do we help? In that research, we were specifically looking at with adolescent girls, could we help to prevent some eating challenges by giving them skills to be able to more critically look at like the media that they were internalizing? So one of the most powerful questions that we found to help kids ask what's missing here. So rather like than even critiquing what is there, like what's not there, what's not represented, so we're not seeing people of color, we're not seeing people of various shapes and sizes, or we're not seeing people, to get into like mental health, like they're always happy, they don't have a range of feelings, like help them to see what's not present in the media depictions that they're kind of constantly ingesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
thanks.
so cool.
Mm,
Like, did they pick up on it pretty quick? I mean, it seems obvious to me. They were able to
yeah.
see, oh wow, this is not representative. This is did that
Once you ask the question, I mean, I think that like for any of us, like it has to be like a conscious effort.
yeah.
I think then once you ask the question, like you don't realize what you're not seeing until you look for it. You know what I mean? And so I think once you ask the question, like kids especially are like, so, they get excited to like figure out, like, it's like a puzzle, what's missing here, what doesn't look like, what I see in my life and things like that. But you do have to bring that to their attention because otherwise it's just so automatic. Like that becomes the representation of reality.